3, 2, and 1. Welcome to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, also streaming on Expert CRE Secrets podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is an amazing way for you to exit a highly appreciated crypto business, real estate, save a failed 1031 exchange, so you can create and preserve more wealth and help your clients and friends and family do the same. Hey, I'm your host, Brett Swarts. In each episode, I'm joined by some of the best real estate, financial, wealth, leadership, and sometimes construction, real estate, water mitigation specialists, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. Together, we make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. I'm excited about our next guest. He's an expert in all things protecting multifamily buildings from water damage. He's an author. He's out of Montreal, California, and he has a passion for protecting owners and developers and builders of multifamily buildings from water damage. We're providing technologically advanced water leak detection systems and so much more. Please welcome to the show with me, Jimmy Berube. Jimmy, how you doing?
Hey, good yourself.
Excellent. For our listeners to get to know you for the first time, would you give us a little bit more about your story and your current focus?
All right. So I was, before working for AccuSense as a water risk mitigation specialist, I was a general manager in a call center, and, things turned not the way I wanted. So I joined AccuSense about 2 years ago, and I've been protecting buildings against water damage since then.
Excellent. And what's the number one secret, diving right in, to protecting multifamily buildings from water damage?
So, sorry?
What's the number one secret that people need to understand to protect your multifamily buildings from water damage?
I think the secret is have a complete system. If you only protect parts of your building, Murphy's Law is gonna work and is magic, and you're gonna have leaks elsewhere. So that's why you need to have a complete protection throughout the building if you want to make sure that everything is secure. And you have to think about it prior to construction. It's not something you can retrofit those systems, but it's smarter to have it from the start.
Okay, so start with the end in mind, and instead of having to retrofit new systems, just build in a water protection system from the very beginning. Define a water protection system. What is it? What does it look like?
Our technology, the way it works, we have two ways that we protect the buildings. The first part is sensors that we're going to put at strategic point under kitchen sinks, for an example. And when a leak is detected at those places, we're going to shut down the water. Okay, we have a shut-off valve that's motorized that's going to be cutting the water, and we're going to also use a water flow module that we can install as an option on our system. And basically what it does, it will detect abnormal flow. So when there's a leak that has been detected, we're going to, an abnormal flow, we're going to shut down the water as well. By the way, what you're sharing on your screen right now, you can have an English version also on our website.
Yeah, excellent, cool. So these are like literally detectors that are attached to water heaters, attached to washer dryers, attached to sinks and bathroom sinks and in the kitchen, and basically they're going to detect if there's abnormal water flow, alert you so that you can go fix it so it doesn't have a bunch of water damage. Is that a fair summary so far?
It's exactly what it does.
Excellent. Okay, so number one secret is to start with the end in mind. Try to get these set up prior to construction. And then number two is actually having the system in place. What's the next kind of secret here to making sure that you protect your multifamily buildings from water damage?
If you want to make sure that everything's going to work fine, you have to be independent from the building. Okay. What I mean by that is that if you rely on Wi-Fi, if you rely on any other technology, basic connectivity to send the alerts to the right person who needs to receive them, most of them will not go through because people will change their internet provider, and you can lose signals, and if you don't reconfigure everything. So that's why we have a dedicated cellular connection that goes by the gateways to send all the data in the cloud, and we have recorded all the information. They're accessible, so if you need to negotiate your insurance premium, You can print out one of those reports and say, you know what, in the last year, we have 25 leaks. We never made a claim because all the system is working fine. And now it's time for you to do something for my insurance premium or to reduce my deductible. So by using this data to negotiate with your insurance company, our customers, we've been doing this for 6 years now, almost 7. Our customers, they calculated that their ROI on the investment is between 6 months and 1 year, because they save on insurance, they save on, because if you have a claim, you need to pay the deductible. And for multifamily building, they can be $25,000 or $250,000. So that money, you don't pay it anymore because the leak is contained.
Excellent. Okay, so let me get that right. So these leaks are going to prevent you from having a bunch of water damage, because as soon as the leaks are happening, you can go and you can fix it at the source. 2, that saves you from the deductible. 3, you can also take it to your insurance company carrier, show them that you're doing preventative maintenance, and therefore less likely for you to have to pay this big bill after you pay your deductible, and therefore they should lower your insurance. Is that a fair summary, Jimmy?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's pretty straightforward. So what's the cost of this? What does it cost? Like if I had a 100-unit apartment complex, mid-80s construction in California, what would it cost to retrofit every unit with your system?
Depending on how many bathrooms you have and so on, you're looking somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 per unit.
Okay. Excellent. Is like lifetime warranty on these systems? Do you own it? Are you leasing it? What's kind of the feel for that?
We have financing options depending where you live, but we usually sell the whole package at one time, and we have a recurring fee of it's like $5.50 per unit per month. That's going to be paying for the cellular connection. You have access to the dashboard where you get all the information you need for monitoring and everything, and we have a 24/7 support. The thing we did when we developed the system 6 years ago, we didn't want it to be something annoying for the property managers, something more they need to deal with. So we have a 24/7 support. So unless it's a real leak and you need a real plumber, if it's just, somebody who drops water on the floor and they can't reactivate the system, we're going to have somebody on call answering them. They're going to help them, and that way we're not going to be something more property manager are going to deal with. We're going to be friends of the property manager, because we're going to be able to monitor what's happening in the building in real time.
Makes perfect sense. And do you have any stats on like how many units are facing water damage per year on average? Like what does it look like there? Like if I had 100 units and I've owned it for 10 years, what's the odds that I'll have water leaks? And what percentage of the units, what percentage of the time?
Well, from the start, about 12% of your water bill is going through leaks. Okay, that from the start. This is the first stats that you need to consider. So when you're in a state or a province that you pay a lot for your water, having those systems from the start, you're going to save on water. The second thing is we did a survey with the owners of the buildings. Okay, we have different buildings now where our system is installed, and the average of damage caused by water, and this is prior to COVID, because now we don't have sheetrocks, we have COVID sheetrocks, which cost like 3 or 4 times the price of what it was 2 years ago, and the average damage was $100,000 per building per year. So from there, after 1 year, most likely you're gonna have paid your system.
Wow.
Just for the average. Yeah.
Do you guys work in all 50 states in the United States?
We have a lot of resellers in the United States, mostly on the East Coast now. But we always open if we were looking for contractors like people in HVAC. They're really smart and they know how to connect all those devices. The valve itself, any plumber can install it, but we work with people in IT. People who do security systems. They're pretty good fit for us when it comes to connectivity. So for them, learning where to install them and pairing them, do the pairing, the connections and everything, it's easy for them to understand and learn.
Very cool. By the way, you can learn more about this by going to AKISENS.com. That's AKISENS.com. Jimmy, this has been a good episode so far. I want to move to the lightning round. Are you ready to go?
All right. Yep.
Knowing what you know now, Jimmy, if you go back to your 25-year-old self, what's the one goal to Doug you'd make sure to tell yourself to do?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
If you could go back to your 25-year-old self, Jimmy, what's the one like piece of wisdom you'd make sure to tell yourself to do?
Oh, I will create that technology myself. That's what I will do.
Good.
Yeah.
Question number 2, what's the number one book you've recommended or gifted the most in the past year?
The Straight Path to Real Estate Investing by, I think it's Eric Crow, something like that.
Good. Question number 3, what are you most curious about right now?
I just want to know where the technology is going to go, especially in water damage prevention. I mean, we did a lot of things to our sensors. We can now detect what's the humidity rate, so we can prevent mold. We can detect the temperature, so we can prevent pipe burst because of freezing. And now we're trying to go maybe with air quality or different kind of things. The part, as being the manufacturer, what you have the chance to do is make your product grow and progress and becomes better. And with the possibilities we have now, we have too much things that we want to try. So we just need to figure out what we're going to do first. But air quality is probably going to be one of them.
That's really cool. Like, so for example, on like the pipe burst thing, it goes, I mean, it gets cold, right? Obviously it says, and then you're going to send the plumber out, or you're going to send the contractor out to make sure that you get everything before it bursts. Is that what you're saying? You turn everything off and
exactly. Yeah. When there's a risk of a pipe burst, we're going to shut down the water. We're going to send a text message to the owner saying that there's a risk of a pipe burst in your kitchen. We have shut down the water. Now you have to address the situation. So
you can remotely shut down the water.
We can remotely shut down the water with you connect your cell phone. You go on your cell phone or any device connected to the internet. You log in, you say, I want to shut down my water. You shut it down. Simple as that.
Wow. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of features in what we did that make it different from others. Another thing we like very much is the fact that our sensors, they're going to detect if somebody moves them. Okay. Especially in the multifamily environment. And you want to make sure that, some people, sometimes they live in denial. They have a small leak. They're just going to put the sensors away, and they're going to change the towel every week, hoping that it's not going to get worse. But at some point it will get worse. So what we decided to do is we have a plate that fixes the sensor on the floor, and there's magnets on it. So when you move the sensor, you're going to trigger a switch inside of it. So it will tell us that the sensor has been removed.
Smart. You guys thinking all these things. Does it work for single family houses too?
We have a version coming in the upcoming weeks now for single family. That's going to be working on the Wi-Fi. For single family, Wi-Fi is perfect. So we're going to have that ready in the upcoming weeks. We're finishing the testing. Actually, I have one in my house right now that we are testing.
This is really cool, Jim. I'm really fascinated. Second to last question. What's the number one leadership quote or theme that you strive to live by?
I think you're going to be the average of the 5% that surrounds you. That I've heard that like 40 years ago. And it's still, to me, one of the best quotes in the world.
It's a great quote. Last question, Jimmy. After all the people you've helped from who knows how much money in water damage, and help them with their investments because they're earning more income, not having to deal with a bunch of water damage. How do you stay centered and encouraged to charge forward in your goals and stay centered in your values?
One of my job and what I like the most is I have kind of two sides of it. The first side is that I help people save money, save problems, a lot of problems that goes with water damage. I mean, especially with, some places, I mean, you wait months for plywood. So we save those problems, and that's a given. We save money, we save insurance, but we save water on the other side. And the water that we save, I mean, look at what's happening just in Pakistan, like the recent days. Water, the way we speak, we talk, we drink water, in the upcoming 10 years, it's going to be totally different from what we are doing today. So every drop of water we can save, on top of saving the problems that goes with water damage, to me, that's the best thing that I can do in my job.
That's very well said. Sometimes I'm thinking about like Arizona. I have all these friends moving to Arizona, and I just feel like they're going to run out of water. In California, I feel like we're running out of water. Yeah. I mean, this is like a water crisis. Like, so maybe speak on that real fast. Like, What are your thoughts on just droughts and water and lack of it in the future?
I think we need to really we need to stop a little bit talking about it, and coming with more actions. For an example, we're going to install our system in the place where they do irrigation. They do indoor year-long cultivating. They have flowers and plants and vegetables and all those. They do it year-long, but interiors on vertical racks. So those kind of things are going to be the norm in the next coming days. And I really think that the building developers should, we have leads, we have different things, that to encourage developers to build more green buildings. And water efficiency obviously is going to take a big part of it in the upcoming years also. But we need to find a way we need more buildings because we have more people, but we need to find a way to keep the place is cool with trees and have more green roofs and things like that.
Excellent. Hey, Jimmy, I want to thank you for being on the show, and I want to encourage everyone to come out and find you. So Jimmy Berube, which by the way is Berube. I'm not even pronouncing it probably correctly because it's French, but it's Berube. He's out of Montreal, Canada, and he's here to help you prevent water damage in your multifamily properties, maybe your single family houses. So Jimmy, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best place for them to find you?
I'm really active on LinkedIn. So if you have on LinkedIn, just ask us to connect with me, or you can visit jimmyberube.com, jimmyberube.com.
Excellent. Hey, Jimmy, thanks for being on the show, and thanks for being a part of the podcast. Also want to thank our listeners for listening to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, also stream on Expert CRE Secrets, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options, not having a clear plan is the enemy. Using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is an amazing way to exit highly appreciated multifamily properties, real estate, businesses, cryptocurrency, defer millions of tax so you can create and preserve more wealth. We're getting with someone like Jimmy to prevent water damage so you can actually have less expense and sell for a higher price before you meet with us. You can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to learn all about this, and you get with Jimmy by going to the AKISENS.com to learn more about multifamily protection from water damage. And you can check out the book, Building Tax Deferred Exit Strategy, coming out, my book, Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. Really cool. Love your support to buy the book, coming on Amazon really soon. Thanks so much for watching this. Please rate, review, subscribe, and we will